One of the first questions that I really want to respond to is who am I, and really how long have I been in Dallas? I know people, might be somewhat interested in that, but I consider myself a kind, caring woman who a follower of Christ, someone who really my history indicates working with others to improve the quality of life, working with others to improve people's living conditions, working with others to promote social justice, working with others to promote fairness. And so that's really who I am. I mean, I am a person who believes in sharing and caring. And that was really part of my development, part of my rearing. And that's what my mother was all about. Oftentimes, we had a small family, the Ragsdale family, and my mother would always have a large deep freezer of food, and I would ask my mother, why did she have so much when we didn't eat all that much? But my mother would always maintain and have food for the neighbors as need be, and so that was the type of neighborhood in which I was born and reared, and to be quite frank with you, still live in. I live in the family home, the ancestral home, and so I live in Wheatley Place, one of the historic black neighborhoods. I live on the street in honor of Paul Laurence Dunbar. So we're talking about a poet and a poetess, Phyllis Wheatley and Paul Laurence Dunbar. And so really, by and large, I am an individual who was reared and by people, by neighbors who cared about one another. And so when you ask the question, how long have I lived in Dallas? I'm a native Dallasite, born and raised in Dallas, Texas. Went to Madison High School, went to Phyllis Wheatley, went to St. Anthony Elementary, went to Phyllis Wheatley Elementary, went to Madison High School, then went to Dallas Baptist University, came out of that. But yes, I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas, and I am, and I continue to be active in Dallas, Texas, because that's who I am. And so there's someone you might want to know about what I think about this documentary related to our history and leadership, and I think it's good. I think we have to capture our history. I do believe that it was W.E. Du Bois who said that a people without their history is like a tree without roots, and so we need to have an understanding of our history and how our history gives us hope. That even when we look at the present situation where so many people are hurting in pain, people are having financial difficulty. History helps us to realize that we were able to walk through that, but walk through that with caring for one another. That we were able to walk through difficult times, not only caring for one another, but fighting with each other to make things better. And so that's one of the reasons why I think this documentary is so important. It's because it elevates the history, it gives us the necessary hope, and it lets people know, it informs people know from which we came. That when you look at leadership, the variety of different leadership, it helps people it helps people to see that indeed that we can become many things, even during difficult situations. Like I indicated, I was born and raised in Phyllis Wheatley neighborhood, and within the neighborhood, we had a teacher here, we had a nurse here, we had an architect, we had a janitor, we had a nurse's aide, we had a sanitation worker. We had all of us living in the same neighborhood. We had a plumber, a carpenter, all of us living in the same neighborhood, and many of whom on the same street, just different skills, different skills. And so helping and working with one another to make things work for our neighborhood and for each other. So this is important to inform people that in spite of what's going on, we can struggle through it. Our history indicates that we can struggle through it, that we can, and that we can lean on God and lean on each other to make things happen. That's the importance. Like once again, like W. Du Bois said, people without their history is like a tree without roots. And Lord knows the black community in this city has strong roots. And so we need to lift that up, and that's what this documentary shows, and the leadership with respect to the documentary. It helps to inform people, to make people aware of the fact that we have strong roots in this city, and that history, that foundation is what helped to continue to walk us through different things, different times, different struggles. When people raise the question, Dianne, to me, what have you done to make a change in Dallas? I have to look at my own history, by all means. My mother made sure that my sister and I became members of the NAACP Youth Council under the leadership of Mrs. Juanita Kraft. I was 11 and Charlotte was 13, my sister. We were very much so active in the NAACP, if that meant voter registration, if that meant attending not just various meetings, going to the national conventions, traveling throughout the country, if that meant creating T-shirts with different signs and slogans, that meant just learning history, because one thing that oftentimes might be overlooked, yes, the NAACP was about social justice, social activism, but it was also about teaching one's history, and so that was really the start of my activism, my social activism. I was 11 under the leadership of Mrs. Juanita Kraft as a member of the NAACP Youth Council. My mother made sure that took place because she wanted us to be involved. She wanted us to be fighters. She wanted us to work with others to promote social justice. Now after that, Lord knows, I met up with the Honorable Albert Lewis Lipscomb, which was with the South Dallas Information Center, which was across from James Madison High School, and that was a tremendous experience. Whereby South Dallas Information Center, whereby we shared information with people, all types of information. It might have been about rent, it might, housing in general. It might have been about the need for food. It might a need for senior citizen services. I mean, we in essence covered all issues, and so it was not just about providing services, because that's one thing that the South Dallas Information Center did. It provided social services, but it also promote what's about social activism and social justice, and so we would address various issues. Working with other organizations, we would address other issues. And so other issues like, once again, like affordable housing, issues like police abuse and domestic violence, because I remember that. I remember that issue was a concern as well. And so we we did a number of things and with the South Dallas Information Center, my sister and I. And so from the NAACP to the South Dallas Information Center, I began to work with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. I worked with Peter Johnson, the SCLC. And once again, police abuse continue to be an issue. And so we worked together around that. I worked with Reverend Peter Johnson, Reverend Orange, I worked with Bill Stoner, worked with Arthur Graves. I mean, just a number of people, Vivian Johnson, just a number of individuals with the SCLC. And so, and whatever issues existed, that's what we addressed. And so, my development as an activist really has been, should I say, I have different experiences. My development has different experiences with different individuals and different organizations. And so my development has been very good for me, and it serves me well going forward as relates to community organizing and community activism, social activism. And so I worked with under the leadership of Mrs. Juanita Crabb. I worked under the leadership of Albert Lewis Lipscomb. I worked under the leadership of Reverend Peter Johnson and George Holland. I worked under the leadership of Fahim Minka with the Black Panther Party. While I was not a member of the Black Panther Party, I did participate in their different programs that they had. What was referred to as the survivor programs, the social service. I was a community worker, and also under the leadership of the Reverend Leroy Haynes and James Skip Shockley. Worked under the leadership. They were under their leadership. They were Black Panthers, and I was a community worker or a community volunteer with various programs: the Survivor Program, the Pest Control Program, the Food Giveaway Program, the political education. They had political education classes that I was a part of, and so that's a part of my history. And then eventually, I became a member of, electoral politics. And, electoral politics was about, it was also about social justice and creating policies that can improve people's living, but also hoping and believing that somehow electoral politics could lead us to structural change. And so I became a member of the City Plan Commission appointed by the Honorable Elsa Faye Higgins. The Plan Commission was indeed about how the land should be used. We in essence made important zoning decisions throughout the city, and so and then I became a council member, and so when you look at, and I know those were different activities, but every activity creates a change, and so what I believe when it becomes change, and we're talking about institutional change. Right now we're located within an office building that was built by an institution that I created called the South Dallas Fair Park Inner City Community Development Corporation, better known as ICDC, a community-based nonprofit that builds homes, a community-based nonprofit that has developed 3 commercial buildings that provides business development as well as home ownership counseling, trying to do those things that we can to move people towards self-reliance and self-determination. But I also was a part of the creation one of the founders of the Martin Luther King Family Health Clinic, which is right there which is a part of Martin Luther King, was a part of the was one of those founders really of the Martin Luther King Family Health Clinic, and it continues to exist right now, and also. I was a part of a group called Common Ground. But my point, though, in each institution, social justice was brought forward, came out of it. It was a part of it. But also, one of the things that I've done to promote change beyond working with others to create institutions, and I'm talking about institutions that promote self-reliance and self-determination. I'm talking about institutions that promote structural change. Oftentimes we lift up reforms, but I am one of those who believe that we have to make foundational change. We cannot just repair a rotten foundation. We have to create a new foundation. So wherever we go, we need to look at how do we create a new foundation within our systems that can serve us all, that can improve, that can provide a comfortable, decent standard of living for all of us. And that's the type of institutions that we need to create. Those are the type of systems that we need to create. So in order to create those new systems, that we have to create a new structure, we have to create a new foundation, and so that's part of what I believe, part of my belief system as well. I worked with others to in essence, I am one of the architects of the new political system in this city called 14 single-member districts and 1 at-large. One of the architects to promote that, the single-member districts. It is a single-member district system which indeed assists people. It brings the government closer. It brings the government closer to the people. We have smaller districts, and therefore the government is closer to the people. Therefore, you have a greater possibility, or should I say, of the probability of electing someone that the constituents prefer. What am I saying here? Let me try to clarify. Before we had 14 single-member districts and 1 at-large, we had 3 at-large. At-large means city-wide, and what happens there is that you really you don't have the opportunity to elect one that you desire, the preferred choice of the community, because of the money that is required, as well as because you might not have the population, and so might not have the numbers. But when you look at single-member districts, it's smaller districts, and therefore you have the probability of electing the preferred choice for your given community. Because the government is closer to the people, and you have smaller numbers that don't require as much money to run within a district, in particular 14 districts, versus a citywide. So we have people running from 14 different districts now. So, and I'm one of the architects of that given system, and so that's what I believe, that you have to. In a systemic way, create change. We cannot just do reforms. And when I say reforms, once again, we cannot move forward simply to repair things, to repair the foundation. You need to create a new foundation. In addition to that, when I've worked with others to right now, where I am now, close by, walking distance, you have a street that moved from Hatcher to Elsie Higgins. I was the driving force behind that. I was the driving force behind creating the Al Lipscomb Way, moving from Grand Avenue to Al Lipscomb Way. And so there are just a number of things that I've done working with others. The other thing right now, we have what's called the South Dallas Fair Park Opportunity Fund, which previously was called the South Dallas Fair Park Trust Fund, but it's now the South Dallas Fair Park Opportunity Fund. And many nonprofits have used that. That was one of the initiatives that I put forward as a member of the council that continues to exist now. That was created in the 90s, and it continues to exist now. It continues to serve various groups within this given community, and also not just nonprofits, but it also serves for-profits. And so we're talking about the South Dallas Fair Park Economic Development Fund, and then that was created by me working with others. And so I could go on and on, but I'm just blessed to do things that are consistent with my beliefs. I believe in institutional building to help us improve our living conditions. And so to that end, I have worked with others to create institutions within our community, within the black community. I believe that you have to work to create various policies to improve policies to improve people's living conditions, and I have worked to do that, working to develop it from policies from housing, policies related to that improves people's living conditions, meaning in particular senior citizens. And as well as youth, and so have worked with a number of individuals to improve people's living conditions through policy development and policy implementation. It's also important to recognize that, as I've stated, that W. Du Bois said that people without their history is like a tree without roots. And my point, you not only need to learn, we need to be able to learn our history. So this, what I look at, and we need to internalize it too. So consistent with that understanding, consistent with that, I have worked to create with others, to develop, to create and develop with others, the South Dallas Culture Center. And also worked with the Dr. Curtis King, to not to create the Black Academy, but instead to identify and to locate a home at the convention center for the Black Academy of Arts and Letters, because I believe that arts represent us well, that our arts represent us well, that the arts serve to educate our community, and the arts serve to inspire us in so many different ways. And so to that end, I worked with people to create the South Dallas Culture Center, and worked with Curtis King to locate them a home, the Black Academy of Arts and Letters. So it's it goes on and on, but I'm just glad to do what I can do, and to be able to continue to do it right now today. I am not of the past. I continue to be active right now, out of office but not out of politics, out of office but not out of the struggle. Thank you very much.